CDs are back. This lineup keeps it honest. In the $199 to $599 range, we're stress testing build quality, transport noise, DAC transparency, jitter control, and outputs, headphone jacks, optic coaxial, and USB playback. I'll compare listening notes, noise floor measurements, and ergonomics, then stack them from smart budget buys to the model that punches above its price. No hype, no fluff, just what sounds best and why. Ready to find your upgrade? Let's spin today. Kicking off the list is a compact overachiever, the TEAC PD301X. If you want real HiFi manners without a full-size footprint, this half-width, slot-loading deck is the tidy solution your rack has been begging for. First impression, build. The aluminum front panel and damp chassis give it a reassuring, no-rattle feel, while the slot and transport loads quickly and keeps disc handling smooth and quiet, perfect for late-night listening at lower volumes where transport noise can ruin the vibe. On sound, the PD301X leans clean and controlled. Feed your amp from the analog lineouts for an easy, plug-and-play setup, or take the optical/coaxial digital outputs into an external DAC to scale the presentation. Tighter bass, more air, better imaging if the rest of your chain can resolve it. Either way, this player keeps timing snappy and treble tidy, avoiding the glare that cheaper mechanisms can add. Usability is dialed in. A crisp front display, responsive remote, and a compact footprint that slips into minimalist desks, bedroom rigs, or tight media consoles. It's the sort of component you forget about until you hit play and remember why spinning discs is still special. If you're after a small, solid, no-drama CD transport that can grow with your system, TEAC's PD301X is a smart, great-sounding starting point at $369. Let's keep the countdown rolling. Sliding into the fourth spot is a modern classic for music-first systems. The Marantz CD6007 keeps the focus on what matters: stable disc reading, low noise, and a silky, unfatiguing presentation that flatters long listening sessions. Put on a dense mix and you'll notice the separation. Vocals sit forward with body, cymbals are crisp without splash, and bass lines stay tuneful rather than booming. It's the just one more track effect, and that's why this deck has a loyal following. Connectivity is exactly what most rigs need. Analog RCA out for a straightforward hookup to your integrated amp, plus optical and coaxial digital outs if you want to feed an external DAC later. Up front, a USB input lets you play high-res files from a thumb drive. Great for testing different masters without leaving your sofa. The chassis feels substantial, the transport is quiet, and the front display is bright and legible from across the room. There's also a proper headphone stage on board, handy for late-night sessions, so you can spin discs without firing up the whole system. Operation is frictionless, snappy loading, responsive remote, clean layout. If you crave a refined, musical sound with upgrade pads built in, this is the safe, smart choice at $650. It's the buy once, enjoy for years player in our countdown. Number 3. Rotel CD11. The Tribute lives up to its name with tuning that prioritizes musical flow over sterile hi-fi fireworks. What stands out first is timing. Rhythms lock in, bass lines feel purposeful, and the whole presentation has that tap-your-foot momentum many budget spinners miss. Vocals arrive with a gently warm mid-range. Cymbals are smooth rather than splashy, and there's a gratifying sense of space that helps dense mixes breathe. Build is classic, understated metalwork with a quiet, confidence-inspiring transport. Operation is delightfully frictionless. Discs load promptly, track access is snappy, and the display is readable from a sofa distance. Hookup is straightforward via analog outs. And there's a digital output if you want to experiment with an external DAC down the road, though the internal conversion already delivers a cohesive, engaging sound. Where it shines is system matching. Pair it with a modest integrated and neutral speakers, and you get a relaxed, long-haul listen. Feed it into a more revealing rig, and it scales by adding image stability and low-level detail without tipping bright. It's not about hyperclinical resolution, it's about connection, melody, tone, and believable dynamics at real-world volumes. If you value musicality and involvement over spec sheet theatrics, This is the sweet spot in the $500 to $600 bracket. Looking for a player that blends modern convenience with classic disc finesse? The DCD900NE is Denon doing what Denon does best: stable transport, clean conversion, and real attention to noise control. Its advanced AL32 processing plus focuses on time domain precision, smoothing fine details so strings, pianos, and female vocals feel continuous rather than stepped. Translation: less digital edge, more musical flow. Daily use is effortless. Discs load quickly, the display is clear, and the remote is sensibly laid out. You get the usual analog RCA out plus digital coaxial/optical, so dropping it into an existing setup is plug and play. The front USB input handles files from a drive, handy for mixing CDs with a high-res library, and format support is broad, including MP3 and DST. Tap Pure Direct mode when you want the blackest background. It shuts down unnecessary circuits, like the display/digital outs, to minimize interference and let micro detail breathe. Tonally, the Denon aims for neutral and composed. Bass is taut rather than hyped, mids are open, and treble is refined, great for long listening without fatigue. Complex mixes keep their shape, and low-level textures, reverb tails, room cues, pull forward a notch. Add the vibration-resistant chassis, and you've got a quiet, confidence-inspiring spinner. If you want a feature-rich machine that sounds grown-up and scales with better amps and speakers, the DCD900NE is a rock-solid buy at $599. Our top spot goes to the Yamaha CDS303, a straight-shooting player that nails the fundamentals and gets out of the music's way. It's built like a component you'll live with for years. A quiet, confident transport, solid chassis, a clean front panel with just the controls you need. Load a disc and it locks on quickly, tracks reliably, and stays whisper quiet, ideal for late-night listening. Sonically, the S303 aims for neutrality with a touch of warmth. Bass is tidy and tuneful, mids carry vocals naturally, and treble is smooth without dulling cymbals or air. Imaging is stable, timing is precise, and the presentation invites longer sessions at real-world volumes. Practicality is a win. 2. You get analog RCA outputs for simple hookups, plus optical and coaxial digital outs if you want to pair an external DAC later. Engage Pure Direct to silence circuitry and lower the noise floor, great when you're focused on micro detail. There's a front USB port for file playback, so you can mix discs with a curated thumb drive library and keep the ritual of physical media intact. The CDS303 blends reliability, musical balance, and meaningful features at a price that respects your system and your wallet. A clear, value-first champion. CDs aren't just nostalgia, they're a reliable, great-sounding source when paired with the right player. In the $199 to $599 range, the standouts nail the basics: quiet transports, stable timing, and DAC stages that keep music natural at real-world volumes. Trust your ears, your room, and your system's synergy. If you want warmth and flow, choose accordingly. If you chase detail and upgrade paths, look for solid digital outs and pure modes. Which DAC are you eyeing, and what amps, headphones, speakers will you pair it with? Drop your chain below and I'll suggest a match. If this helped, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. New HiFi guides every week. Thanks for watching, keep those discs spinning, and I'll see you in the next one.